There are women that are saying, well, I want to be promiscuous and I want to, have an OnlyFans and I want to do this, but I also want to be respected as if I don't. I want to be treated as if I don't. I want guys to forget about that and want to wife me up. And the guys don't like it. They don't like a high body count on women, and they don't like this stuff. So I'm trying to shake reality into women.
I think body count definitely matters. When I go to buy a new pair of shoes, I don't want an old, worn-out pair of shoes. I want a new pair of shoes. Body count for most guys, when they hear a girl has a 10 plus, 20 plus body count, they look at her and they automatically know that girl isn't really trustworthy, or they look at that girl and they automatically start thinking negative things. Everyone wants like a wife, and they know if you have 10 plus, 20 plus body counts, you're more likely not a wife.
I'm a wife, and I don't think that's true.
And you what?
And I have a pretty high body count, and I'm very trustworthy, so I think
he said it's more likely.
Let's get real about this fantasy women love to sell themselves on. You can't have it both ways. You can't be out here collecting a body count like a trophy and expect to be treated like a queen when you're ready to settle down. Respect isn't some magic gift that's handed to you on a whim just because you decide to flip a switch and act like a lady after living a life of promiscuity. You can't stroll into a relationship, especially a long-term one, with a history of running around on the side and expect some guy to put a ring on it and treat you like the Virgin Mary. Let's be real. Men aren't looking to wife up women with an OnlyFans account. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of modern feminists, but it's the truth. When you're out there selling your body online, whether it's explicit content or just your attention, you've already signaled what kind of value you place on yourself. And guess what? Men take notice. If you've made your living off of attention-seeking behavior, acting like the world owes you respect is a joke. And don't even try to play the victim when it all falls apart. Don't pull the "I should be respected no matter what" card when you've been acting like a 304, a term used to describe promiscuous behavior, and parading it around like it's some badge of honor. You're not entitled to respect if you've made every attempt to make yourself unworthy of it. Men want to be able to trust and admire the woman they choose to commit to. They want someone who isn't broadcasting her personal life for likes and attention. They're not looking for someone who has been around the block a few times and thinks she's going to be treated like the first choice. The truth is, men have preferences, and no matter how much the woke crowd tries to convince you otherwise, those preferences are shaped by basic biology and common sense. They don't want to wife up a woman who has every random dude in her past trying to take credit for her. Women who proudly boast about their freedom to be promiscuous, or who turn around and say, "I can sleep with who I want, when I want," need to understand that there's a price for that freedom. Respect doesn't come without effort. So ladies, you can't parade around living a wild lifestyle and then expect that some man will just accept you as wifey material when you're done having fun. Respect is earned, and it's not something that magically appears once you've had your fun and decide you want something more. If you're serious about finding a long-term relationship, start by respecting yourself first. If that means dialing back the promiscuity, turning off the OnlyFans, and acting like a woman who values herself, then do it. Otherwise, don't expect to find the kind of respect you're seeking, because the reality is, that ship has sailed. And then there's the landmine of false accusations. It's not just a TikTok trend, it's a real issue, one that deserves thoughtful solutions, not the chaotic mess we're living through now. But let's be clear, running from one cultural bubble to another won't magically solve your problems. Relationships are nuanced, and boiling them down to a one-size-fits-all formula only guarantees failure. As for the whole notch count debate, look, for a lot of guys, a woman's past is a legit factor when thinking about long-term commitment. And guess what? That's not just societal conditioning. It's backed by research linking promiscuity to challenges in monogamy. Pretending that's not a thing? That's the kind of cognitive dissonance that keeps therapists booked solid.
I'm saying the only reason a man would be insecure about a woman's body count, my friends, is because they're insecure that they're not going to be able to satisfy the woman as well as the other men in the body count.
Actually, I'd be more concerned about the fact that your oxytocin receptors have densified to the point where you can't effectively pair bond. I'd be more concerned with the abnormal levels of sexual discipline and inhibition that emotionally healthy women tend to exhibit. I'd be more concerned about your impaired judgment when it comes to selecting a mate. I'd be more concerned about the fact that you're so desperate for emotional validation that you will willfully give your body to anybody. Concerned about the fact that you don't even receive orgasms from most of the men that you've dealt with, because if you did, you would keep that guy around, seeing as how elusive female orgasms typically are. I'd be concerned about the fact that I'm dealing with an emotionally unhealthy woman who likely suffers from substance abuse and depression. Concerned about the emotional baggage. Concerned about a hidden STI due to your increased risk. Concerned that I just increased my chances of divorce by 30%. Concerned that I just maximized my chances of being cucked. Concerned there's no long-term benefits dealing with a promiscuous woman.
But let's not sugarcoat it. The dating market is a brutal reality check. If you've racked up a body count high enough to rival an Excel spreadsheet, don't act shocked when guys see red flags instead of wedding bells. Attraction and compatibility are currency in this game, and ignoring the basics won't change the rules. Let's talk about the circus of modern dating, starting with the laughable idea that you'll ever get the full truth when asking a woman about her past. Society's spent years wrapping these liberated types in bubble wrap, so what you'll likely get is a highlight reel of carefully edited anecdotes, not the unfiltered reality. Want to know about her wild 20s? Better off slipping it into conversation casually, unless you're in the mood for a TED Talk about why her past totally doesn't matter. And for the skeptics, there's always the good old multiply by 5 rule. Cynical? Maybe. Accurate? Probably. Let's not forget that society practically hands out gold stars for women who underreport their sexual history, while men are expected to shout theirs from the rooftops. So yeah, cheers to honesty in modern dating. What a quaint little concept. Here's a kicker. Women love to lecture about how the past is irrelevant, but they'll be the first to dissect a guy's history, especially his finances or decision-making. I'm an independent woman, she'll say, right before running a full audit of your life choices. The hypocrisy isn't just glaring, it's blinding. Here's the truth. A person's track record often predicts their future behavior. But somehow, women have managed to convince everyone that they've evolved overnight. Meanwhile, men are held accountable for every choice they've ever made, no matter how ancient or irrelevant. Double standard much? And speaking of double standards, let's dive into the justice system. Some men walk free for lack of evidence, while others have their lives destroyed under the exact same circumstances. It's not bad luck. It's a system so broken it's basically a parody of justice. Want a cherry on top? A woman's accusation can nuke a man's entire existence, even if it's barely held together with duct tape and wishful thinking. Flip the script, though, and a man's claims carry all the weight of a feather in a hurricane. This isn't just inequality. It's a slapstick comedy sketch masquerading as fairness. The West's future? It's looking like a reality TV meltdown. Gender roles are a blur, relationships are on life support, and the legal system's double standards are tearing the social contract to shreds. Traditional values like family and mutual respect, the stuff that actually made society functional, are buried under layers of progressive ideologies that leave people more divided and disillusioned than ever. Take dating, for example. Men are tapping out of commitment faster than ever, choosing self-preservation over the potential disaster of a relationship that could implode with one accusation. And honestly, can you blame them? When the risks outweigh the rewards, walking away just makes sense.